And I think for a lot of people out there, they understand, obviously, you have a big business going on, you have a young child, but you have one more thing going on, right? You're going for Miss Pennsylvania this year?
Yes, I started pageantry in the racing world. I was Miss Motorama and then Miss Motorsports, which is one of the most iconic racing titles that you can hold in the pageant world. And then I moved to North Carolina, married my husband, and one day I'm in the grocery store and this random guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, you should compete for Mrs. North Carolina." And I'm like, "I know nothing about beauty pageants. Like world peace is, I mean, I can jump in and figure it out, but throw me into the wolves and I'll figure anything out." But it was a whole new realm I had never been a part of. And yeah, so this weekend I am competing for Mrs. Pennsylvania International. I've been very blessed to hold some pretty incredible titles over the last 10 years. I was actually Mrs. United States 2016. And so that was incredible. I was Mrs. USA and competed in South Africa in 2019, 18. I don't remember. The time is flying by now, but I've been extremely blessed in the pageant world once I figured it out.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, that's an amazing roster. I remember one time in school, I almost got funniest guy for my senior superlative. I thought that was amazing. I almost got it, and so from a guy like that, I can tell you, hats off. I mean, that's amazing. What do you do? I got to ask this though. You're so busy with a business, with a family. How do you prepare for something like that? What's the preparation?
Um, Preparation this time has not been great, so I'm a little nervous about that going into the weekend, but I'm hoping that it's like riding a bicycle, and which I was never good at either. But hopefully it's like riding a bicycle. We can get right back where we need to be. Obviously, having a son, it makes it quite unique because he's like, "Mom, why are you doing that this morning?" I'm practicing answering questions that a judge may give me, right? And he's like, "Mom, why are you in the window talking to yourself?" And I was like, "Well, you see, honey, I don't know." So it's been very interesting this time around. Of course, everything he sees me do, he wants to do. So after I was done answering my questions in the window, he then went to the bathroom and he was answering, talking to himself in the mirror. So that side of it is very interesting with the child. But of course, trying to walk in heels is always a good time when and then he's trying to follow you around, and then he's behind you, and you're trying to turn, and yeah. So it's very very unique as a mother this time around.
You're prepping them for this situation. I can see it now. I was late to it, and when I got my first Jeff Gordon credit card, I thought it was the greatest thing I ever saw in my life. And I barely knew who he was at the time, even though he was huge. I later became a huge fan, and he was my guy. But you could be, all this watching mom do this, watching dad do that, you know?
We have talked about this, and it's funny because what kind of started this conversation is David still gets fan mail sent here to the shop, and we had an employee at the time who was maybe 21ish, and David's sitting at lunch signing all these little different packs that people send their cards in. And he looked over and he's looking at David, and he's looking back down at these, and he's like, "You have your own baseball cards?" He didn't know that David had run NASCAR and knew nothing about it, but he just sees David like signing these baseball cards, and he's young, right? He's 20 something, so he doesn't remember David racing. And it was hilarious. I mean, we all died laughing, obviously. And David's like, "Wow, you just made me feel really old." But so it's cool because we talk about it now because we're like, "Hey, one day David was getting ready to get rid of a fire suit." I'm like, "Keep that. Your son is going to love that someday." Like, these are all stories that we can build and he can grow on. And like, hopefully one day he'll be like, "Hey, like my parents were pretty cool, like it'll probably be like 25 years from now, but one day my parents did some pretty cool stuff when they were growing up." So that's what we hope for. But it's also that generational deal. Like, and I'm sure when he's a teenager, he's not going to care at all what his parents did. And he's going to do whatever he does way better because welcome to the teenage years. But hopefully one day he'll appreciate what we've accomplished and what we've built over the years, and what we've been able to do with our life, because we are truly blessed. We took something that before we even knew each other, that were both hobbies to both of us, and it became a passion for both of us. And then we meet and we get married, and we've been able to make that passion our job. So we're extremely lucky in that aspect. How's the saying go? You don't work a day if you do what you love. I don't know that that's completely true, but there are moments, as you know, when things go out or things aren't going right, you think twice, wouldn't it just be easier to go punch the clock for somebody else? But at the end of the day, there's nothing greater than being in charge of your own destiny. And we've been extremely blessed over the years.